Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. At least 15 people were killed by an Israeli strike in Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp yesterday. The strike hit the Al-Yemen Al-Said hospital, which was housing displaced families. According to the Palestinian health authorities, the Israeli army has ordered evacuations at 3 more hospitals. An Israeli airstrike reportedly hit Syria's central provinces of Homs and Hama. The Israeli army targeted a car assembly factory in the industrial area of Homs and a military position in Hama. The strike also hit vehicles loaded with medical and relief supplies, causing a fire. Reports say that Hezbollah had accepted a ceasefire with Israel the day an Israeli strike killed their leader Hassan Nasrallah. The Hezbollah chief Nasrallah was assassinated on September 27th. Before that, Hezbollah had said that it would accept a truce only if there was also one with Hamas in Gaza. Hezbollah had also conveyed this decision to the Lebanese government. Israel's Defence Minister Yoav Gallant has vowed to retaliate against Iran's missile attack. Iran had launched 200 missiles towards Israel on October 1st. Gallant said that Israel's response will be deadly and precise. Gallant added that whoever attacks Israel will pay a price for it. He also described Iran's missile attack as a failure. US President Joe Biden held a phone conversation with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday. It was the first call between Biden and Netanyahu in nearly 2 months. Both leaders agreed to stay in close contact as Israel mulls its response to Iran's attack. Biden reaffirmed his support for Israel amid the escalating tensions in West Asia. Meanwhile, the US has asked Israel to avoid any Gaza-like military action in Lebanon. This comes a day after Netanyahu threatened Lebanon with Gaza-like destruction. Israel's armed forces chief has also vowed to continue the intense bombing of Hezbollah targets. Over 1,200 people have died since September 23rd, when Israel ramped up its offensive in Lebanon. Former US President Donald Trump has hailed Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Trump called Modi his friend and also the nicest human being. He made the statement while speaking about various world leaders on a podcast. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi has landed in the Laotian capital, Vientiane, to attend 2 summits. He'll be attending the 21st ASEAN-India Summit and the 19th East Asia Summit during his 2-day visit. He's also expected to hold bilateral meetings on the sidelines of these summits. India has approved a deal to develop 2 indigenous nuclear submarines. The Indian government also approved the purchase of 31 Predator drones from the US. These deals are set to boost the defense capabilities of the Indian Navy. The iconic Indian industrialist Ratan Tata passed away yesterday at the age of 86. He passed away due to natural causes. Ratan Tata had served as the chairman of the Tata Group from 1991 to 2012. His last rites will take place in the city of Mumbai today with full state honours. European Union member states have approved a plan to provide Ukraine with a loan of up to $38 billion. The loan will be backed by frozen Russian assets. Ukraine seeks funds to provide equipment for its military and keep its electricity grid functioning this winter. Russian bombardment has caused extensive damage to Ukraine's power grid. A Russian missile hit the port of Odessa in southern Ukraine yesterday. At least 6 people were killed and 11 were injured. The strike also hit a container ship. Ukrainian officials say that this was the 3rd attack on a civilian vessel in the last 4 days. Japan has expressed its opposition to the violation of its airspace by Chinese forces. The Japanese Foreign Minister, Takeshi Iwaya, has raised the concern with his Chinese counterpart, Wang Yi. A Chinese aircraft violated Japanese airspace in August. Japan has called for an explanation. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te says that China has no right to represent the island. However, he added that Taiwan is willing to combat global challenges alongside Beijing. Lai Ching-te assumed office after winning elections in May this year. He has been labelled a separatist by Beijing. China claims Taiwan as its own territory. It's a view that Lai and his government reject. Saudi Arabia failed to secure a seat at the United Nations Human Rights Council yesterday. It was in the fray for one of the 5 seats allotted to the Asia-Pacific region. But Saudi Arabia came 6th in the voting process. This comes 4 years after Riyadh's last bid to join the 47-member body, which was also rejected. Moving to climate news, Hurricane Milton has made landfall at the western coast of Florida. The Category 3 storm brought furious winds and flash floods across the American state. Around 3 million homes have been left without power. Heavy rains caused by Hurricane Kirk lashed northern France yesterday. The storm killed at least 1 person and triggered red and yellow flood warnings. Heavy winds uprooted trees and led to power cuts in several parts of France. Climate change has shifted olive grove cultivation northwards in Europe. The warmer climate now allows farmers in Hungary to cultivate olives. Olives were traditionally grown in southern Europe, but droughts and scorching heat waves have impacted the olive harvests in southern European nations like Spain. The war in Ukraine has impacted its forests. About 80% of the 40,000 hectares of octogenarian pine trees at a national park in eastern Ukraine have been ruined. This is due to Russian bombardment. Ukraine has 10 million hectares of forest area. However, much of this now bears the scars of war, with devastated trees or hidden, unexploded shells. In northwest Colombia, locals are struggling to protect the Atrato River. The water body was once surrounded by trees and shrubs, but they have been devastated by illegal gold mining. Heavy machinery has dredged parts of the Atrato's riverbed and deforested the land around the river. On to business and tech news now. Elon Musk's Tesla is set to unveil the Cybercab, the firm's model of a robot taxi, today. The project was earlier scheduled to be launched in August, but it was delayed due to design modifications. Robot taxis are essentially self-driving cars built to operate without a human driver. Amazon is set to add Apple TV Plus to its video streaming service Prime Video. The feature will be available from later this month in the US. Amazon will charge users about $10 for the add-on subscription. Apple TV Plus is a subscription-based OTT streaming platform owned by the iPhone maker Apple. Spotify has started its free music streaming options on its platform in South Korea. Users can access music and podcasts without a subscription. However, they will hear ads in between songs and podcasts. Users can also create their own playlists and enjoy personalized mixes. Spotify did not have a free streaming option in South Korea before this. The mining giant Rio Tinto has inked a deal to buy US lithium producer Arcadium. The all-cash deal is worth over $6.5 billion. Rio Tinto will now have access to more chemicals needed to make lithium batteries. It will be able to operate mines, processing facilities in Argentina, Australia, and Canada. Uniqlo's parent company, Fast Retailing, reported record high performance for the fiscal year 2024. Domestic profits in Japan surged due to hot summer weather and a tourist boom. International Uniqlo stores also saw significant profits and revenue increases. The company posted a 25% rise in net profit to $2.5 billion. India has emerged as the largest market for artificial intelligence applications. It contributes 21% of the over 2.2 billion global app downloads. Popular apps that India has downloaded include ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Microsoft's Copilot. Data shows that Indians use these apps for free and don't opt for the paid version. One of India's leading health insurers, Star Health, has reported a cybersecurity incident. The insurer says that it has been a victim of a data breach. Sensitive information for millions of customers has been compromised. Reports say that the leaked data is now available online and is on sale. The hacker, identified as Zenzen, has access to files totaling 7.24 terabytes. European Council President Charles Michel will meet Chinese Premier Li Qiang amid rising trade tensions between Brussels and Beijing. The EU and China are at loggerheads over Beijing's subsidies for its industries. Brussels imposed sanctions on Chinese electric cars to protect European manufacturers. China retaliated by imposing tariffs on European brandy. Reports say that the two will hold talks on the sidelines of the ongoing ASEAN summit in the country of Laos. China has decided to lift sanctions on Australian rock lobsters by the end of 2024. The agreement followed talks between the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Chinese Premier Li Qiang on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit. The trade ban on lobsters started back in 2020. The embargo was due to supposed biosecurity concerns cited by China. The UK government will unveil major reforms to employment rights. The changes aim to boost pay and productivity for workers. The biggest overhaul includes zero-hour contracts and unethical firing and rehiring processes. Most of the changes will come in effect before the autumn of 2026. Moving on to sports, we start with cricket. India beat Sri Lanka by 82 runs in a Women's T20 World Cup group match. Batting first, India put up a score of 172 runs. Captain Harmanpreet Kaur smashed an unbeaten 52 runs of just 27 balls. Meanwhile, Smriti Mandhana contributed with a perfect half-century. In reply, Sri Lanka were all out for 90 runs in 19.5 overs. India's Asha Sobhana and Arundhati Reddy took 3 wickets each during Sri Lanka's innings. India beat Bangladesh by 86 runs in the second T20 international being played in New Delhi. After winning the toss, Bangladesh chose to bowl first. India's batting was powered by half-centuries from Nitish Reddy and Rinku Singh. Bangladesh were chasing a target of 222, but they could only manage 135 runs in their 20 overs. India have now won the T20 series 2-0, with one match yet to be played. England batter Joe Root became the country's highest run scorer in Test cricket. Root made the landmark record during England's ongoing Test series against Pakistan in Multan. The 33-year-old scored 12,578 runs so far. Root stands 6th in the overall list of the world's highest run scorers in Test cricket. In football, Bayern Munich beat Arsenal 5-2 in their Women's Champions League opener. Arsenal drew first blood in the 30th minute. Bayern retaliated to level the score 1-1 just before half-time. When play resumed, Bayern struck again via Sidney Lohmann. Arsenal's Laia Codina salvaged an equaliser to settle the score at 3-3, but then Bayern's Pernil Harder found the back of the net thrice to put the result beyond any doubt. Former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp was appointed the new head of global soccer at Red Bull. Klopp is scheduled to start his new job on the 1st of January 2025. Klopp departed Liverpool at the end of the last Premier League season after almost 8 years as their manager. The British-born Greek footballer George Baldock was found dead in a swimming pool at his residence in Athens. The former Premier League player, who currently plays for Panathinaikos, was found at the bottom of the pool, and the cause of his death is yet to be determined. Baldock had represented Greece on 12 occasions. In tennis, Wimbledon will replace line judges with artificial intelligence and an electronic system. This marks the end of a 147-year-old tradition where the judges played an integral part. The All England club confirmed that all 18 match courts will be installed with automated electronic line calling, or ELC. The men's world number 2, Carlos Alcaraz, has entered the Shanghai Masters quarter-finals. The Spaniard beat Frenchman Gael Monfils 6-4, 7-5 in straight sets. Alcaraz next faces Czech tennis player Tomáš Machač for a spot in the last four. In table tennis, the Indian women's team won a historic bronze medal at the Asian Championships in Kazakhstan's Astana. This is India's first ever medal in the women's team event since the start of the competition in 1972. Earlier, India's campaign ended with a 1-3 loss to Japan in the semi-finals. The Indian Olympic Association President, P.T. Usha, could face a motion of no confidence. The motion could be presented during the association's special general meeting on October 25th. P.T. Usha has issued a notice to multiple IOA members for allegedly violating eligibility norms. Usha's opponents, on the other hand, accuse her of high-handedness. Now we move to entertainment news. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers have accused the U.S. government of framing him. They claim that the federal government deliberately leaked the assault video to the press. The video, which dates back to the year 2016, shows the rapper hitting his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The rapper alleges that the U.S. government accuses the U.S. government of misconduct in his criminal case. He has filed for bail for the third time. The singer Taylor Swift has threatened legal action against the man who has been tracking her flights. Swift's lawyers call it stalking and harassment. They say that this is causing the singer direct and irreparable harm. The person in question is Jack Sweeney, who tracks the carbon footprint of Swift via her private jets. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift has donated a sum of $5 million to help with relief efforts after Hurricane Milton and Helene. The money will help the affected people with essential items like food, clean water, and other supplies. Hurricane Milton and Helene have caused widespread destruction across the U.S. Jennifer Lopez has opened up about her ongoing divorce with Ben Affleck. In an interview, she said that her whole world exploded when the process began. Lopez also said that she read all the hateful comments that people hurled towards her online. However, the singer doesn't take all this seriously. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck filed for divorce in August this year. Singer Shawn Mendes has postponed the release date of his upcoming album, Shawn. The album was supposed to release on the 18th of October. Now it'll see the light of the day on the 15th of November. The singer said that he needs some more time to work on it. The album has 12 songs. Anne Hathaway has apologized to a journalist after their 2012 cringy interview resurfaced. She sent a long email explaining that she was going through a personal problem at the time and that she's sorry for giving an awful interview. The journalist has been invited to interview her again for her upcoming film, which will release next year. The Office star Jenna Fisher has opened up about getting diagnosed with breast cancer. She found out in December last year after a biopsy. The doctors found a tumor in her left breast. The actor underwent surgery to remove it. Fisher continued with chemotherapy and radiation for a year to avoid its recurrence. The animated comedy TV series Velma has been cancelled after 2 seasons. The series, which featured Mindy Kaling, was based on the character of Velma from the Scooby-Doo franchise. The second season of the show premiered in April this year. The show takes the viewers to the time when Velma and the gang were in high school. Amazon has renewed Reacher for Season 4. This comes even before the show's Season 3 debut next year. The series is based on the book by Lee Child titled Persuader. The lead character is a vigilante who goes undercover to rescue an informant from enemies. The character of Batman has been honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in California. It made history by becoming the first superhero character with a star. It has especially been placed outside the Guinness World Record Museum. Several notable personalities like DC Comics creator Jim Lee attended the event. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to First Post.